I'm rocking out something very, very different today. I decided to get dressed up for this. I got the blue, I got the blazer on. And yesterday was Friday the 13th, Part 5's 40th anniversary. It came out on March 22nd of 1995. Yesterday was March 22nd of 2025. And I decided, hey, let's go ahead and do a discussion on this, So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe it's been 40 years. March 22nd of 1985 was 40 years ago, and going all the way back from the beginning, watching these things as a kid, a lot of people, didn't like this film because, Jason was not in it. Well, technically he was. He was basically like a hallucination. You do get the imposter Jason, which is actually, come to find out, is actually Roy Burns, the paramedic. And with further ado on that one, you look at the film now. When I was a kid seeing this film for the first time, it didn't really bother me to go ahead and say, hey, Jason isn't in this one. He's not the killer in this one. But what they did with this film is go ahead and they went back to the beginning. This is almost like a carbon copy of the original Friday the 13th. It's very, very similar in that way. And what I mean by that is the fact that Roy Burns is doing the killings, right? Why is he doing the killings? Well, same thing as like what happened with Pamela Voorhees, why she did the killings, her motive in the very first film. Of course, Jason drowned, and that's the reason why she started killing. She blamed the counselors. In this one, Roy's motive basically is, my son got killed at Pinehurst. Now I'm going to take my vengeance on everybody at Pinehurst. But you got to wonder, what did those two greasers that were trying to get the car started, what did they have to do with this whole plot? Why did they get killed off? Nobody really knows. I guess he was, they were expendables, who knows. But the one person that, Roy was so mad, he didn't get the guy that actually killed his son, which is Vic. So you remember, I remember the scene, and this is probably the most epic scene. In this film here, it's very, very funny. But I do love the fact when Joey goes ahead and he approaches Vic after he helps out Vi and oh gosh, what's her name? Robin. Vi and Robin with the laundry. He actually gets the new linen all chocolatey up because his chocolate bar, and he's talking to Vic, and Vic gradually gets irritated, and he puts a chocolate bar on the log that Vic is acting up, and and Vic's like this, like that, and so if that's the way you feel, just forget it, Vic. Just forget it. I think you're really out of line. That's what sets Vic off, and that's what happens with the whole spree. So, further ado, I mean, this is by far one of my favorites in the franchise. I know a lot of people think, it's back in the day when it did come out, people were pissed. I'm pretty sure back in '85 when people went in the theater and found out that it wasn't Jason, I could imagine how they were feeling. Of course, I was a year old when this movie came out, so that tells you how old I am. I was born, the previous year I was born the year that the final chapter came out, but it never bothered me that it wasn't Jason doing the killing in this one. I mean, I love the first one. The first one I love a lot because, the setting that it's in, the characters, just the whole 9 yards. The camp setting feeling. But with this one here, it's just same way. It didn't bother me because it was something very, very different. Of course, you got the mask, and yes, I do got a mini mask, a mini hat mask. I bought from 13X Studios at a convention up here in Chicago. I was at a couple years ago. There it is, right there. Speaking of that, I had to pull it on. I had to pull it on the thing. Let me see. I think I can get this thing on me. tight. It's a tight fit. It's a tight fit, but look at that. Better get that off because I got Ricky's autograph in there. Looks like it stayed pretty good in there, but yeah, I think it's really cool because you do get the mask, the blue chevrons. I thought that was a really cool touch. You didn't have the chevron up in the front here like Jason's mask was with the red chevrons. But yeah, here's Ricky's. Anyway, here's Ricky's autograph right there. I should have thought before I put the mask on myself. Make sure I didn't have anything put on my face from the marketer. It stayed on really good. Yeah, he signed it. I thought about having maybe Dick Wayans sign it. Maybe I thought, but I don't know. Maybe sometime down the road we'll have to wait and see. But, speaking of that, I kind of like the whole aspect of a character in the film pretending to be Jason. Now, the whole thing with that is they could have went a different route. They could have went with a different route. I mean, they could have went like maybe the Halloween route with like an anthology. Thank God they didn't do that. But I think the whole jumpsuit thing was pretty cool with the hockey mask, with the face cowl, which it's actually like the headpiece that you put over, silicone headpiece or whatever it is, prosthetic headpiece, and then you have the mask going over it. Pretty cool idea. I think the way that they actually showed him killing people without actually revealing him until like near the third act of the film was really cool. You saw the hand movement coming down, an axe being on the screen, stuff like that. That's what you got with the original Friday the 13th guys. You didn't get to see Pamela Voorhees until like the third act. You do get to see her in one scene when Ned approaches the one cabin. If you pause it and then you zoom in on it, if you have the zoom feature, I mean, you can see her. She actually shows up in the middle of the film instead of like the last, the third act of it. But yeah, I mean, this mask here is definitely my pride and joy. I loved it. I love it. Can't go wrong. It's amazing. I think Ricky's going to be there again Friday, but for Days of Dead Chicago. Favorite characters. Now, I do have quite a few favorite characters in this film. Reggie the Reckless, and yes, I was so excited, but I found out too that he canceled out at the last minute for Days of the Dead coming up this Friday in Chicago. Sad, but hey, at least I get to have a second opportunity to meet Dick Wayand, and then I finally will be able to get to meet John Shepherd. Hopefully, we'll have to wait and see. Anything can happen at the last minute. People can cancel out at the last minute for these things. But favorite characters in Friday 13th: A New Beginning, Friday 13th Part 5. Let's put it that way. Favorite characters: I love the character of Pam. I just think she's a great character. She's not the final. She's not a final girl. She's the final woman because she's an adult. Melanie Kinnaman was an actual 35 at the time when they did that film. I remember chatting with her through social media, and she was telling me that. And then, of course, Reggie the Reckless is my all-time favorite of this film. Then you got Tommy, played by John Shepherd. And this, like I said, I made the video about which Tommy Jarvis is my favorite. John Shepherd's version of Tommy Jarvis is my all-time favorite. Some people might think, oh, that's a little crazy because he didn't really take down the real Jason. It doesn't have to be that way. I just love how it was built up with all of the crap that went on in Final Chapter with Tommy. You can really see that really messed with him mentally, and you can see it like when Eddie confronts him, when he beats the shit out of Eddie, and then he beats the shit out of Junior later on in the right outside the trailer park when Tommy, Pam, and Reggie go to see Reggie's brother Demon when Demon was in town, stuff like that. And you get, like I said, it's just the way he didn't have much dialogue, Tommy, but you can really feel the tragedy that he went through. I mean, just everything. I mean, it's just it's really amazing because when he's just standing there, he's taking what Junior's telling him. Oh, you're one of those ones from the Looney Bin, and my mother's gonna chop you into little bitty pieces, my friend. And you can see the look, the stare at him. You know when you're messing with somebody that has been through a traumatic event like that, you do not want to mess with them. And in this case, Junior did find it hard. I can't really find anything really wrong with this film. You know, Danny Steinman, there's a lot of nudity in this film. We're going to get to Danny Steinman here in a minute. But there's a lot of nudity, and there's a reason why. Danny Steinman, his background was porn films, or exploitation films, to be exact. But basically pornos he had done. And that's why you got a lot of that. Now, yeah, I think you guys have heard the story. Darcy DeMoss, who plays Nikki in Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. She was Court's girlfriend, the one in the motorhome. She was originally supposed to be in the beginning. When her audition came up, Danny Steinman, I believe, had said to her, "Take your top off," and she would not do it. And I think she walked out, and that was it. But yeah, she was supposed to be in that. It would have been interesting to see I don't know if they discussed what role Darcy DeMoss was supposed to play in part 5, but it would have been interesting. Hey, we got her anyway for part 6, which is awesome. By the way, part 6 is the only one that does not have any nudity in it. You do have that sex scene with her and John Friedley, who plays Court. I thought that was kind of sexy with her, with the way she was moving and stuff in that scene there. But yeah, you have Violet is another great character. Tiffany Helm's character, the one that's like, I wouldn't say goth, but like, I don't want to say that she's like the punk rocker, got the type. She's got her hair dyed like blonde. It's got like a black streak or something inside of it. She does that really, really cool. I think it's like an Egyptian dance that she does. Really, really cool stuff. Now, I know she has done that at conventions, but that's another cool character. They did have a different kill for that, for her. It's very, very exploited. Something about, going through between the legs and stuff like that, but they decided to just go for the gut anyway, because or else they would have had to made it, and I think it must be some NC-17 film, but I think Gramps, Reggie's father, played by Vernon Washington, was a very likable character. I really enjoyed him. Matt, the head or director of Pinehurst, was really, really cool. He's very, very straightforward and stuff like that. Sometimes I like people like that. That they're like really straightforward, because he was basically, the one that held everything together at Pinehurst. At least, if you're the director of Pinehurst and stuff, or the director of this facility, you got a lot on your plate, man. You got a lot to deal with, and something goes wrong, you're gonna be the first person that's gonna be contacted, or deal with like the whole incident with Tina and Eddie when they're out there. Basically what Tucker was saying. They were screwing their heads off, Matt. You're going to go to the person that runs Pinehurst, the main person that runs Pinehurst, which is Matt, and you're going to be telling him all this. Well, we might be lucky this time because Ethel didn't see them, and all of a sudden you hear on a motorcycle, and the look on, Tucker's face was hilarious. My Ethel, why don't you look lovely today? Oh, shit. I want this loony bin closed down. You know what those two perverts were doing? I want this loony bin closed down, and stuff like that. We're getting into Tucker and Ethel and Junior now. Definitely, this film here has definitely got some really good laughs, and it's because of Ron Stallone and the late Carol Locatell, who I actually met back in, I think it was 2021. There's a YouTuber by the name of Richard Diaz. He was talking about the 40th anniversary of this film. And he was at Days of Dead in 2021 when I was there, when they had that mini Part 5 reunion. And I only had enough to meet 3 of them, because they had Dick Wayand, Ron Stallone, Carol Locatell, Deborah Voorhees, and then Melanie Kinnaman. And so I chose Melanie Kinnaman, Deborah Voorhees, and I was wanting to meet thick weigh-in, but something told me, uh, go ahead and let's meet Carol Cattell, and I'm glad I did. She was a blast. I mean, she was funny. I even thanked her for all the laughs and stuff with the film. That's what made the best part of it. I like the fact when you tell him on. She turns around, say it like you mean it, man. And she turns around, looks at him, and says, "Would you shut the fuck up?" And just the look on, I think it was the look on Tucker's face was funny, especially when she approaches Tucker right when she gets off that motorcycle. You keep quiet, I'll do all the talking, and it was hilarious. It really was hilarious. Uh, my favorite scene in this film, I mean, there's a couple of them, but the one that kind of stands out to me, we're going to get to my favorite scene here in a minute, but we're going to talk about this next scene when it was right after the Grecians get killed. And you have Tucker there with the police, his police force. Then you have the paramedics, which consist of Roy and his co-worker. And Tucker's out of the blue. He's like this. What the hell's going on here? And then Roy's like this. You talking to me, Sheriff? Huh? I thought you were talking to me. No, Roy, that's okay. Get them out of here. Like that. Just stuff like that. It was really funny. You're standing right there wondering, and you say out loud to yourself, what the hell's going on around here? But the one thing I really liked was the mayor and Tucker scene at the police station when the mayor's just going ape shit, just going wild, going crazy, like, give me the damn psycho who's responsible for all this. And then Tucker's smoking, I think, his cigar, and then he comes up with this sarcastic answer. He says, I know who it is. The mayor's like this. What? I said I know who it is. And the mayor's like this. Who? And then Tucker has that like partial grin on his face. It's Jason Voorhees. And that's when the mayor goes ballistic. It's like, Jason Voorhees? You may ask me, it's been out in the sun so long. Jason Voorhees has been dead. Jason Voorhees is dead. Were you there, Mayor? Were you sure, Mayor? Were you there? Did you see him cremated? Jason Voorhees, I can't believe this. Stuff like that. I mean, that was the scene, to me, that was the best scene in that entire film right there. That's how much I like this film. I mean, you can say what you want about Friday the 13th Part 5, but man, when you got a character, characters like this, and it just, awesome stuff. I know Danny Steinman has long passed away, but man, if I was able to meet him, I would have told myself, this film was a blast watching it, because it's got humor, it's got horror, it's got pretty much a mix of everything in there. And of course, you got the nudity. That's what the Friday the 13th films are most notable for too, of having nudity in them. Because how did Jason die? I mean, he died because counselors were having sex and stuff like that. But of course, this isn't Jason in this film. It's an imposter, aka Roy Burns. I think Tom Morga did a great job as playing Jason underneath the mask and stuff. I thought he did a really good job. Definitely props to him for everything he's done. I mean, the walk was kind of funny. I mean, you kind of can tell that there might be a little bit of a connection between Jason and Roy in this film, because the way he would walk when you see Jason walking in this, that there was a kind of a connection. Now it's to describe it in words. The way he was walking, he was like, he'd walk. He had the machete in his hand. I don't know how he would actually walk. He would walk like that. Well, something like that. Something similar to that way. But just the way he would move his arm with the machete like that. When Pam and Reggie come across the paramedic station wagon, and are yelling help. And then Reggie does see Jason. He's screaming, and then all of a sudden they all run the way they came from. And then you see Jason walking up. That was kind of freaky. But, yeah, I mean, kill-wise in this film, best kill, and that's a tough one, because there are some unique ones in here. I think the most, I think the most, I wouldn't say gruesome, but the most violent one of all, I think, was Eddie's. Because the fact that, after he sees Tina Lane, props Tina Lane over there. And by the way, um, you hear about different things about actresses and stuff like that, getting, breast implants and stuff like that. Uh, Couldn't find out that Deborah Voorhees said those were her real boobs and stuff and so on. And pardon me for saying that on my channel. I never talk about stuff like that, but I do love women myself. So, but man, those were real. But when he flips her over after he gets done going, I think he had to run off and go to the bathroom or something, and he flips her over, and this is right after she gets killed when she gets the shears, through her eyes. The horror that he looking on his face, and he backs it in that tree, and all of a sudden, here comes the strap, pulled over his eyes, and then the branch the imposter Jason's putting the thick branch through the metal ring loops, and then tightening it up, and you can see him. He's in pain. I mean, who knows what the heck happened? What the aftermath, what that looked like after that strap actually basically strapped off, or basically stripped what he looked like. I mean, I couldn't even imagine the pain, but I think that was probably the most brutal kill in this film. We didn't get to see Matt's death, but he does get like a stake through the forehead here. Gramps definitely he gets his eyes are gouged out. Of course he gets thrown to the window, but his eyes were gouged out, and then you see the eyes that were gouged out. You don't actually get to see the eyes gouged out, but they're gouged out. But he gets thrown through the window. That's pretty epic. That's like shades of Rob Dyer and then Rick from Part 3 getting thrown through a window. I thought that was pretty cool how that happened. He beats him in pants, calling Reggie, I believe, and that was definitely some cool stuff there. I think the other kill in this film I thought was pretty good was going all the way back. Let's talk about Lana. That kill there, that was pretty epic. You didn't really get to see it, but you knew that it hit in her stomach area, but you didn't see it until the aftermath when she's laying dead there on the ground in the parking lot at the diner. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, Billy's death was that was wild. Hey, Lana, hey! And then all of a sudden the axe comes, and you can see a little bit if you look at it really closely in that scene with Billy when the axe comes down, hits him in the back of the head. You can tell that is actually a prosthetic head if you look at it really, really closely. And then it's movie magic, But when you go ahead and you have like Blu-rays and 4K, when you have Blu-rays and 4Ks and they, upscale the picture, you're gonna see the prosthetic pieces a little bit better than what you would like on a DVD or a VHS back in the day, because it's a little bit darker. But I just thought when you look at Billy's death in that, right when the axe hits, you can tell that's a prosthetic head. But we all love the films. Maybe because they're cheesy, they're fun. They're fun. The greasers, the two greasers, the ones that are having problems with their car out there in the woods. I thought what was really sick was the flare going in the one's mouth. I thought that was a pretty deadly kill right there. His friend, or it's been rumored that they were a couple, but his friend that comes back after going to do what he has to do, gets his throat slit and stuff like that. But his buddy is trying to fix the car, gets the flare through the mouth, and I thought that was really, really wild. Couldn't even imagine what that would actually feel like in real life. But you can actually tell right there when the flare goes right into the mouth. You can tell it's a prosthetic head. But just just some things you can point out, but still, it doesn't bother me. I mean, if you see the prosthetic there on film, but the fact of the matter is these films are fun. I mean, they're fun. I know some people do not like horror films, and I respect that. But I mean, these films here to me are fun. They've always been fun to me. I've always enjoyed them. I can watch. I've watched these things over 100 times. Some more than others, but I just really enjoy it. Uh, the dream sequence near the end, that scene when Tommy's laying in the bed and he wakes up and then he ends up stabbing Pam in the gut. I thought that was pretty shocking. When I first saw it for the first time, I'm like, oh man, oh my gosh! And then we get to the actual scene when she goes back down the hall again, goes in the room, and well, she hears the window bashed out in the room, and she looks, oh my god, and the door shuts behind her, and here's Tommy with this mask on, with the knife up, and then it cuts to the credits, and that was it. We don't know what the hell even happened to Pam. We don't even know. All I know is that part 6 was supposed to have John Shepherd come back and Melanie Kinman. Melanie Kinman, I believe, said that she was signed on to do 6, but they scrapped the whole idea because John Shepherd found his faith, and he didn't want to do it anymore. Which I mean, I can see that. I definitely can see that point. But yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I've always thought was really funny was the way Melanie Kinman would scream in this film. It almost sounds like she was laughing or crying. The way she was crying in the film, it was almost like she was laughing, and she really wasn't. But the thing with that, I would love if Shavara Ross didn't cancel for Days of the Dead. I would love to ask him a question here. Was that really you driving the tractor that went right through the barn door to take down the imposter Jason? And I'm like, if that was true, man, if he actually drove that thing, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. It really is. But I thought that whole scene there, especially when Pam's getting chased, and then all of a sudden you see, the imposter Jason's footsteps, foot getting faster and faster, and you see and then you see right when she falls, you can see him in full view of him walking so fast. It is so scary, man, that scene right there. And then all of a sudden, here comes that music, and here comes the tractor right through the barn, guts him right there, and it says boom. And it's movie magic, man. I mean, if it was Shavara Ross actually driving that tractor, I'd be impressed. I really would be. I mean, they could have had a stunt double do that, but damn, I'm not going to be able to ask that question because he had canceled out. I mean, he probably had to cancel out. Probably something came up with family or something came up with a project that he was doing. But regardless, there'll be another time to meet him. The chainsaw fight, the chainsaw machete fight scene with Pam and Imposter Jason. Well, I call it Imposter Jason because it's not really Jason, so we'll make the distinction instead of calling Roy all the time. I think it was pretty good. I think it was really good, and I think I remember hearing. I remember the question being asked to Melanie Kinnaman. Was that her really waving or using the chainsaw in it? And it was. Of course, they had to. I think they had to take off the chain of the saw so that way Tom Morgan didn't get hurt. Yeah, I mean that was pretty good. That scene was pretty intense. I mean it was awesome the way she was kind of fighting him with it and stuff like that too. That was something that we never ever seen in a Friday film before. Machete versus chainsaw duel, one-on-one like that. That was pretty cool. And then the return of Tommy in that, especially the music right there when he returns, and then and then you hear Reggie say Tommy, and Jason's going after him, and all of a sudden Jason turns around, and you can see that the eyes, the eyes kind of resemble Roy's. Okay, I mean it's obvious, but it's so funny because then he's walking close to Tom. He's getting close to Tommy. He's walking close, so close, slowly to Tommy. And that little duel right there, that little battle they had right there, but that was pretty cool, pretty well done. It wasn't really much. I mean, you know, Jason using or the imposter Jason raising the machete and slices him like right here, right across the chest area, and then he's about ready to finish off Tommy, and then Tommy pulls out that pocket knife and jabs him like right here, right in the groin area, and then that was that. So even the whole thing with at the top of the barn was very, very epic. I loved it when Pam does save Reggie. She hits the imposter Jason in the back of the shoulder with it was like a stick or something. It kind of looked like a back of a paddle oar almost, where she hits him, and then she's on the opposite side. She's on the side where it's got the open outside open doors in the top, but down below is just a bunch of spikes. So she's like, going this way, going that way, trying to see if she can get past the imposter Jason, and he's going like this, even with her trying to block her from even getting by him. And then we get Reggie off like a wrestler up on the top turnbuckle of a haystack, does almost like a diving elbow drop, pretty much, almost nails Jason. Jason goes out those doors, and you thought he landed, but unfortunately he didn't. He's actually hanging on, and he's trying to grab Reggie in this way and that way, and that's when Tommy comes in and hits the machete on top of the hand, and then Jason goes in and falls on the spikes, and that's when it's revealed it was Roy Barnes the whole entire time. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff about this film. I know over the years a lot of fans have warmed up to it. Like I said again, it didn't bother me at all that it wasn't Jason doing the killings. You did get the hallucinations of Jason when Tommy has been hallucinating and stuff about him. But yeah, for the most part, it's overall it's one of my favorites. It's I know everybody likes part six because it's Jason first time being the zombie. It's the first time you have the kids there at the camp in present time. We did get the kids in the camp, but it was back in the 1950s in the first film, before Barry and Claudia do get killed off. I thought that was pretty cool, but there's something about the first 5 films I like. It's just the way they were. 85 was a big year for films, man. I mean, of course you had Back to the Future, you had Breakfast Club, you had Teen Wolf, you had Rocky IV that came out, you had the very last James Bond film with Roger Moore that year, View to a Kill. You had a lot of good ones out there. I mean, 85 was definitely a good year for films for sure back in 85. But this film here I thought was really, really well done. I mean, not bad for Danny Steinman coming from a porno director background. Film was really great. Let's talk about Julie Cummings, Robin, for a little bit here. The redhead, the one that's that Jake, the stuttering guy, really likes. Of course, I think everybody knows that she was also in Psycho 3. That starred Anthony Perkins, and Anthony Perkins did direct that film as well. So I thought she was really good. I don't know. They never did say what Robin's condition was. Neither did they really say with Violet either, or even Jake's condition. You can tell that there was something wrong with Joey. I remember him saying to Roy he was shuffled from home to home. And, he really likes to hear Pinehurst and stuff like that. But they never did say anything about Eddie or Tina. The only one that they really mentioned about was like Tommy's condition, Tommy's problem that he had and stuff like that. And I mean, that's pretty much it because, when Tommy does arrive at Pinehurst, Matt and Pam talk to him. When Pam shows him to the room, Pam talks to Matt and says something he's really talkative. He wasn't the really talkative type or something like that. And Matt's flipping through the files and says it's amazing that his brain isn't fried. All the drugs that he was on. Part 5 and 6 is the Creep Show and Creep Show 2. Yeah, I mean I mean part 5. You know, you look at part 5, you look at Halloween 3, you look at Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Those were pretty much, everybody keeps saying those were pretty much the black sheep of all of those franchises, but you know, the way I look at it too, it's, I mean, I like the part 5. I didn't really, part 3 of Halloween was okay. And I love Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. I really love that film. Some people might think it's crazy that I like it over the original, but the original is good too. But I mean, there's something about part 2 I really like. You know, the fact that he's tormenting Jesse and he's inside Jesse and making Jesse do all these horrible things and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, with, you know, Julia Cummings, she has never done a convention that I know of. I have not seen her at a convention or heard of her doing a convention. Would be really cool to see her come to a convention. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't get Tiffany Helm, who plays Violet, to Days of the Dead next Friday for this convention. It would have been really cool to have her, and Tom Morgan would have been awesome as well. But I don't know. Maybe, I mean, we got the rest of this year because Days of the Dead does happen twice a year in Chicago. It's in the spring and also in the winter, so, or in the fall, like in November. As a matter of fact, it's been in November every year, from what I remember. But yeah, maybe we might get another Part 5 reunion in November at Days of the Dead. Maybe, you know, they'll be able to get Shavar Ross in November. That'd be awesome. Like I said, unfortunately, he did cancel out. Let's see what else we can talk about this film before I even go out. Because we're at 37 minutes. We're at 37 minutes into the film. Let's talk about the introduction to Reggie here. Reggie the Reckless. He's reckless. He's reckless, baby. He's reckless. Anything he does, there's a reason why they call him Reckless. We don't really know why, but Reggie the Reckless. Oh, we got to talk about Miguel Nunzio Jr., who plays Demon, too. Let's not forget about him as well. Reggie's first appearance in the film I thought was really fun. The way he scares Tommy with that rubber spider. You fed rubber spiders on strings? You know, and then, you know, Tommy's unpacking all of his masks and stuff. You know, and he tells him, don't! You act like you made him or something. I did. Solid. And all of a sudden you hear the police sirens. Oh, man. I got to split. There's action, you know. But before that, he says, oh, is that what they call us? Nuts? Is that what they call us? You mean, not me, man. I'm just here visiting my gramps. Stuff like that. Great character. Great child actor, too, man. I mean, I'll say it again. Reggie the Reckless is my favorite character, along with Pam and then along with Tommy in this film. So, and then, you know, you get Miguel Nunzio Jr., who plays Demon. I'm not really sure. I'm going to probably look it up. Because Return of the Living Dead came out in 85 as well. And Miguel was in that. And he had pretty much the same hairstyle that he had in Return of the Living Dead that he does in this one. That he does in Part 5 here. You know, those damn enchiladas and the way he was running to the outhouse, and it was just hilarious. Oh, and then he him and his girlfriend sing that song, ooh, baby, hey, baby, stuff like that. That was fun stuff. I would love to meet him too, man. That would be really cool. I mean, I don't know what I would have him sign. You know, I own Return of the Living Dead on 4K, and then I got the Friday 13 Part 5 poster. I don't know if you guys can see that in the background up there or not. It's right up in the corner right up there. You can barely see it. You might be able to see it because, you know, whatever size monitor or TV you guys are watching this on. But like I said, I got 3 people on there. It'd be really neat to have Miguel on there as well. But you know, maybe we might get him. You never know. There's always time. I mean, like I said, Days of the Dead happens twice here in Chicago, so maybe we might get him for the fall show. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean that's I think I pretty much covered a lot of everything on this film. Um, other than the music I haven't touched on yet. So the music is really good. I love the music. It's very very different. Still Harry Manfredini, but definitely you can tell it's part five for sure. Just like when part three had that disco theme. Really something really unique, and I enjoy it. I mean, just everything about this entire film, even the opening music when you uh, see this mask and then it turns around and stuff like that, and just just really great stuff what Harry can do with this with the themes for these. And he's done most of the scores for the Friday the 13th films. I think he did part of 7, and it was Fred Moline that took over. And then Fred Moline did all of part 8. And then Harry came back for Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X. I'm not sure if Harry Manfredini came back for Freddy vs. Jason. I'm not really sure. That could have been somebody else different, a different composer. But I thought that was cool. The one thing I didn't like about the remake was it didn't have the signature theme music for Friday the 13th. But I mean, I understand it's a remake. It's different from what they're gonna do. I mean, but that's a whole different topic in another video I can talk about possibly. Um, but yeah, I pretty much I covered everything on this movie. Like I said, it's hard to believe it's been 40 years. I mean, it came out in '85, and it's been one hell of a ride seeing these films as a kid. I didn't see any of them in theater until 1989 when Jason Takes Manhattan came out. But I'm kind of hoping because my theater down the road here, not to get off the subject of Part 5, but we got a 45th anniversary of Part 1. The last couple of years, the theater down the road, Paramount Theater down the road from me, they'll play horror films, vintage horror films, like classic horror films from the 80s. The first year we actually did get Scream '96, which I thought was awesome to see that on the big screen. And then last year was the 50th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original from 1974. I'm hoping we either get Nightmare on Elm Street 1 or Friday the 13th, the original, this October. That'd be badass. I've always dreamt about seeing the original Friday the 13th film in a theater. That would be really cool. So hopefully, keep my fingers crossed that it happens in October. We'll have to wait and see between that and the original Nightmare on Elm Street. But without further ado, guys, that is it. That's all I got for this live stream. Impromptu live stream. Decided to come on here and talk about this film. And I don't know. I might do, think about it. I might be doing 2 live streams, maybe. One on Saturday and one on Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. I have to figure out what I'm going to talk about on Sunday because I'm doing like all these movie discussion live streams on Saturday. But it works for me because my work schedule is Monday through Friday. I work second shift from 11 to, or from 3 in the afternoon to 11:30 at night, Monday through Friday. And for me to do these live streams, I can do them on the weekends because I have plenty of time. I ain't got to worry about, hey, I got to go to work the next day and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, this is fun. I mean, I'll do some of my videos, like my discussion videos and stuff. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about maybe tomorrow. I might change my schedule up. I might be doing videos maybe instead of every day, maybe 3 days a week. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet. But, I come up with anything, from horror films to superhero films to movie-related topics to some video gaming stuff. I haven't really live streamed any of my games for at least the last couple of weeks now. Last game I was playing live stream was Resident Evil 4 Remake. So, yeah, we'll have to just play it by ear. I got almost 200 subscribers here. Like I said, I don't have the fancy intros to my videos to sit down and do all that stuff. Hey, it takes time, but I'd love to do like some editing stuff, like editing photos and stuff, or pieces of video clips of the movies and stuff inside my videos. That would be really cool. But we'll have to wait and see. I mainly, like I said, I just do this stuff for like fun, and some stuff that I enjoy. And of course, I got the outdoor stuff that's coming up, which you guys have seen already. So I've uploaded 3 videos already, a couple of shorts already on that. So it's a mix of everything you're going to see on this channel. Yeah, without further ado, that is it. That's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. It's been fun. And like I said, guys, anything that's Friday the 13th, I'm all for. Whatever they do with the Friday the 13th Peacock series, I'm all for it. I hope Linda Cardellini does sign on for Pamela Voorhees. I think she'd be a great Pamela Voorhees. If she does, I can't wait to see how her take is going to be on the character. I can't wait to see what Brad Michael Caine, whatever his name is, that took over from Brad Fuller, the guy that was going to do the series. Can't wait to see what he does with it. But yeah, further ado, guys, that's it. That's all I got. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And remember, stay safe, stay warm, or stay cool wherever the heck you're at. And all you guys, I'll see you guys back in the next one. Bye-bye.